What you have to understand is back in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a certain type of male action hero. This type of male action hero was very tall, very muscular, and when Bruce Willis joined on the scene, he was against that type. Before Bruce Willis, there were action heroes like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Mark Singer, even Jean Claude Van Damme, who premiered in Bloodsport literally in February of the same year that Die Hard came out. So when Bruce Willis debuted Die Hard, which is one of my favorite holiday movies, he was against that type. Bruce Willis is handsome in a everyday rugged sense. He just premiered from Moonlighting, which is a hit smash show back in the 80s, and he dipped his toe into doing action and being, a leading man. And Die Hard was his vehicle. What I want to talk about in this video is the range and the performances that left a lasting impression with me from Bruce Willis and seeing him on screen. He has terrific range, terrific comedic timing, and he's able to pull emotions out from people that I never even thought was possible. So let's talk about it. While I love Die Hard, the original, my favorite Die Hard movie is Die Hard with a Vengeance. I qualify Die Hard with a Vengeance like the Grand Theft Auto of all Die Hard franchises. He teams up with the iconic Samuel L. Jackson.
Not even God knows what you're doing.
As playing Zeus. And basically, it's a continuation of John McClane's saga. He's now a divorced alcoholic detective who's been pulled back into the fray, and he has to deal with this maniac who's doing phone call riddle games in the entire streets of New York. It's shot in New York and different parts of I think Canada and whatnot. But what I really love about this role of Bruce Willis as John McClane in this film is that he's doing everything. He's doing the action is top notch. If you notice that one of the scenes in the elevator, if you've seen Captain America Winter Soldier, it was inspired by the scene in Die Hard with a Vengeance. It's one of the most iconic scenes, and I use iconic a lot. Iconic. But that's what Bruce Willis was. That's what he is. He's been in so many damn movies, and each performance, while you may not agree with a lot of the performances that he's done in the later years, I still have a soft spot in my heart for a lot of his earlier work. And Die Hard with a Vengeance is one of my favorite movies that I like to look at. It's funny, it's action-packed. Jeremy Irons is terrific as a villain, as he always is. Samuel L. Jackson is hilarious. They have a great chemistry. I know it's not the first time that Samuel L. Jackson and Bruce Willis were in a film together. I know they were in Pulp Fiction and Glass and what have you. But within Die Hard with a Vengeance is one of my favorite films because it shows the dynamism of Bruce Willis, where he can go from joking 1 minute to being, serious and kicking your ass. The next film that I like to touch upon is something that showcases Bruce Willis's comedic timing. I don't know if you've seen it, but I love the movie Death Becomes Her. It's one of Robert Zemeckis' greats next to Back to the Future. But what I love about this movie is Bruce Willis is acting alongside Goldie Hawn and the mesmerizing Meryl Streep. I mean, he's going toe-to-toe with a lot of their lines, a lot of their performances, and he's just comedic. I've never seen Bruce Willis this wacky before, this manic before. And one of the things that always sticks in my heart is when Goldie Hawn's character, she comes downstairs and she gets blasted by Meryl Streep with a shotgun, and there's a big hole in her. I don't want to spoil it. You need to watch the film, but it's literally watching and hearing Bruce Willis scream at that moment. I can still hear it. It always brings a smile to my face. It's one of the best scenes in the movie. There's so many best scenes in that movie, but what's remarkable is Bruce Willis is really, really funny. He's really, 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 really wacky. He's a put upon husband that has to deal with the supernatural elements of his former girlfriend, fiance, and his current wife. And he's doing I don't want to give too much away, but he's trying to balance his sanity as well as be a dutiful husband until he draws a line in the sand, so to speak, and goes his own way. It's one of the movies that really sticks out to me as showing the range of Bruce Willis, from his comedic timing, being fully involved in every scene, even allowing Meryl Streep do what she can do, but not disappearing in the scene, not letting Meryl Streep or Goldie Hawn overpower his presence in the film. He's there right along with them. He's performing right along with them, and you don't see that dynamism with a lot of action stars. You don't see that. I mean, Sylvester Stallone can do it, so to speak. Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's gotten better over the years with it, but none of them can hold a candle next to Bruce Willis in terms of just turning on a dime next to being comedic and charming and funny and crazy and manic and a great action star. The only person that I think comes close to matching Bruce Willis's dynamism right now currently is Batista. Like, Batista is phenomenal. Everything that I've seen him in, he can go from serious to comedic, point flat. John Cena is also a great guy. He can do, like, if you've seen Peacemaker, he has the acting capabilities. But I still think Bruce Willis is really, really, really good because he doesn't look incredibly muscular. That's what made him such a memorable actor when he came out, because he looked like an everyday person. He looked like somebody you would see down the street. He is handsome. He is muscular, but he's not too much of one thing. He's in this nice Goldilocks zone, which I like. And then the last movie I like to touch upon is not so much on, it's a great movie. Like, I love this movie. Michael Bay was in his bag when he made it, is Armageddon. Of course, Bruce Willis is doing his Bruce Willis thing. His role is Harry Stamper. And just to give you nice broad strokes of the film, cataclysmic meteor is coming towards the path of Earth, and the only people that can stop it is an oil rig crew headed by Bruce Willis. They're able to go up there be trained in like maybe a couple weeks to be astronauts, and be sent up in a rocket to drill a hole in the meteor to kind of split it apart and change its trajectory, thus saving the planet. Surprise, they do it, but the way it ends is something that was completely unexpected. You've seen Bruce Willis throughout the years be the action hero. Have you seen Last Boy Scout? If you've seen, Tears of the Sun, if you've seen a lot of these movies where he's always the man in charge, he may be wisecracking, he may, know what he's doing, not what he's doing, shooting from the hip, but you've always seen him kind of live to fight another day. Without spoiling too much, in Armageddon, Bruce Willis does not make it, but the way he doesn't make it, he sends a note, a last video to his daughter, to make sure that we get the job done. That's been his creed. And why this performance sticks out with me. It may not be Bruce Willis's best, but it's one of the most memorable, because I remember being in the theater when Armageddon came out, and I remember when that scene happened, and I started hearing sniffles. I started hearing people tear up and start, not crying like, ooh, bone, but I could physically and I can sense that people were sad at this moment. And specifically men. There's a lot of men in that theater. And I noticed that they were crying. They were crying when Bruce Willis, sacrificed himself to save the planet, to save America, to save, the world, what have you. And yes, Armageddon has its problems. There are a lot of caricatures in that film. It goes off the rails with some of the things. There are a lot of stereotypes. Michael Bay loves his stereotypes and all of his cliches. But it's one of those movies. It has a great soundtrack. Like, the soundtrack is like phenomenal, right? And the movie is phenomenal. I always like watching it. There's never not a time where Armageddon is on and I do not watch it. So it stands the test of time. But when that moment happened, I knew right there that Bruce Willis was something special. Is something special. And this video is kind of like an honoring, a tribute to him and all he's done in movies, and set himself apart from, the established, I wouldn't say meatheads of, action stars, but he was a trailblazer in that regard. Now you start to see people that look like schlubs and they're able to like kick ass out. You got like, what's the movie Nobody, with the guy from Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk. He's paved the way for those guys, those older, middle-aged action stars that don't look like the traditional action star. He paved that way, and there's a long legacy that leads all the way back to Bruce Willis. And he may not be the first person to do it, but he's the one that sticks out the most. And I really want to say thank you, Bruce Willis, for everything that you've done by being who you are. I know I don't like all of your movies, but the movies that I do love, you've always been a standout. You've always been a great actor. You've always had terrific range, and I really appreciate it. So that's all I got. If you like what I had to say, feel free to like, share, subscribe. If you don't agree with me, leave a comment. If you do, leave a comment. I love to talk about it. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I know it's been weird. I've been going through a lot, and it's going to take a while for me to get back on track. But I wanted to kind of start off with honoring one of my favorite action heroes, one of my favorite actors.
Nobody likes you. Everybody hates you. You're gonna lose.